Alex glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Seiler, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watts, and Nick Padone. Today is a beautiful Wednesday. Had to check my phone.
Yeah, it is.
It was September 10th, 2025. How was everybody's Tuesday nights?
Dude, I had a long Tuesday night, I'm not going to lie. So I do a little bit of basketball training on the side for those who don't know. And I've been getting a little more responsibility. You know, my boy, he's been letting me handle some solo workouts. So normally it's like Tuesday nights, it's like 2 groups of like 3 to 4 kids. I'll put them through like a little workout.
What age are we talking?
Like fifth, 6th grade. Younger kids, but they some of them are pretty good. They could do some stuff. I walk in the gym, there's 2 whole basketball teams here. There's 25 kids. It's just me and this other guy. And I'm like, yo, like, this ain't really gonna get it done. And then like the kids were listening, I had to start making them like do push-ups and run and stuff.
Oh
geez. The second group was a normal like 3 to 4, but then the other kid was just a nuisance. There's always one.
Did you pull a little like Fran Brown Syracuse football, make him run up and down after?
No, I mean it's literally just like you know, you gotta start like taxing them on all the stupid stuff. So like if I said like count every shot we make and no one says a word, now everyone's got to do 10 or we got to stop and run. Like I got to start doing all that stuff before everyone just tightens up and listens.
Rob, you'll appreciate this. My dad growing up never coached me in basketball, but when my younger brother, my dad coached 1 season and they didn't win a game. And they were like in the middle of a really dreadful season. They probably had a stretch of games where they scored like less of 10 points. I'm talking like this is like 4th or 5th grade, that's right? Like these kids were just straight garbage, and so I'm a little bit older. I'm probably in like 8th grade while they're in 4th grade, and I'm watching this. I'm like, this is just horrendous. So my dad, like, it gets to the point late in the season, my dad's like completely thrown in the towel on his own team. He can't get off work one night to go to coach their practice, so he has me do it. I felt like it was the miracle on ice, dude. I just said again, and it was
fucking Soviets.
Biggest power trip I've ever had in my life, and they got a lot of running in, and they got the dub after that.
Yeah.
After that practice, they got to win.
You're gonna force them to do it somehow. So it's like now if we can't even make layups, like I could get really like on it, like if every turnover, missed pass, block, no one's talking on defense, missed shots, layups, all that, run until someone just tees up and starts playing better.
Yeah, Rob, we didn't.
How does it feel?
We didn't even pick up a basketball, dude. I just had him running.
Plenty of
I gotta
days
ask
like
you
that
though,
for me in my life.
How does it feel, Rob, being the bad guy in these situations though for the first time? Like you're used to being the player, flipping to the coach role. Like I have a friend who's a teacher. And I saw a picture of her classroom, right? And up on the wall, it's like the jail words in class. You can't say, we're not even a week into school yet. It's barely Labor Day and 6-7 is already up there, right? So like you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So what's it like now being a villain?
I think for the trouble I may have caused in school as a kid,
is this like your purgatory?
As an athlete, I was actually very
okay.
I'm a listen because I actually want to play. And that's the whole thing I go back to. It's
you didn't come here to play school?
Do you want this to be track practice or do you want it to be basketball practice? So it's simple to just do like the activity. Like we're just working on skills. You're dribbling, shooting. There's no defense. We're not even like, it's not a team practice. So it's like, I don't feel bad for them if they can't listen and just do a simple drill at all.
Bro said 6-7 was banned.
No,
Jack,
yeah, it's on the jail.
Don't you claim to be 1-0 against Drew Aller?
As a coach in my career, yes, I am. 7th grade St. Ignatius summer enrichment program. Had my fellows out there, Jack Mangan, Timmy Ruddy in the secondary. Never forget it, a couple of West Park boys. You played 2 high safeties against Drew Aller. Even when he was 12 years old, he had no clue what was coming. Was it 7-on-7 football? Was it 40-38 or something like that? Probably, but we did get the dub that day.
Bro put up 505 tuds. He said he didn't
know
what was going.
He did still. But hey, we got the victory. That's all that matters.
Any of
Roll
you
Tide
been to Ola Tacos in Lakewood, Ohio?
No.
I've not.
I went there yesterday for the first time. Shout out them. It's just this cute little outside, almost like a tiki type. Yeah, very cute.
Date type spot.
Super good food, like better than Barrio, better than Condado. I just wanted to shout that out. All right, guys, what do you say we talk some actual football? Yeah. All right, Quinshon Judkins, Browns running back, returning to practice. I believe today will be his first practice for the Cleveland Browns. We don't know exactly what his role is going to be week 1. Missed all of training camp, of course, with the domestic violence incident, but he's back. I'm going to assume they're going to ease him a bit into his role, but I'm not sure how much easing you really need when you're just a bruising running back, especially when your options are Jerome Ford, who we've talked at length about.
Redacted.
We don't really want to
Redacted.
touch the football for our football team anymore, but I suppose this is a sign of a positive direction for the Cleveland Browns, and Lord knows they need Quinshon Judkins to tote the rock.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's returning to practice today, like, this is the first positive update that we've gotten on Quinshon in quite some time. Like, we knew that he was going to sign the contract. That was more of a formality, but to get him back on the practice field that today, especially on a Wednesday, that shows you that he's going to be prepared to play Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. And how much does that change things for the Ravens game? I'm not that sure. I think that's going to be uphill sledding. Even with Quinshon Judkins, it's his first career game. I'm with you, Ryan. Like, how much of that camp did he need? Right. I don't know. Like, you just won a national championship with Ohio State. Like, that's as close as you're going to get to the National Football League without being in the National Football League. So I'm like, I don't know if you really can afford to ease Quinshon Judkins into things. Like, I think that this should give the Browns an opportunity to see what they wanted when they drafted 2 running backs. Like, this should be now a pretty evenly split backfield for a couple weeks, I have to imagine, with Sampson and Judkins. Really, Sampson was most impressive as a pass catcher. So if you could get anything between the tackles with Quinshon, it's a big step in the right direction from what we saw Sunday against Cincinnati.
I was going to say, especially too with Quinshon Judkins, like going back to his Ole Miss days with Lane Kiffin, like he was #1 in the country in touches over a 2-year period. So like he had a lot of miles on his legs, despite how young he was. Like going with Travion Henderson, obviously, like he got a cutting carries. He had most of the summer off. Like you got to think his legs are probably in the best shape they've been in a long time. Like he is gonna have to get back up to speed, but like once you split carries for a couple of weeks, you're gonna think he's ready to go soon.
Nick, you said, can the Browns really afford to ease in Quinshon Judkins? And the answer is apparently yes, they can, because this season doesn't matter. And we'll get to this because you bring in no kicking competition for Andre Szmyt. You're going to go have him kick at M&T Bank. What are we doing? But I remember going back to the draft, and when we drafted Quinshon, I wasn't too positive. I wanted Travion if we were going to take one of the running backs. But then they went and got Dylan Sampson, and I saw the vision. You see Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. I don't remember if, Nick, you were on the show, but I talked about Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. Like, those two dudes are awesome together. Jordan Mason, I think, is going to be the lead back by the end of the year. But the fact of you have your bruiser between the tackles and you have a guy like Dylan Sampson outside the numbers who can catch passes, I love the vision. And I'm super excited because what we saw from Dylan Sampson, as you mentioned, you pair that with a guy who can actually run in between the A-B gap and get you some bruising yards. I think it's going to be fun.
I have a couple things on this. So, one, I am excited to see Quinshon play. I do, like he said, I see the vision for the 1-2 punch in the backfield. Little throwback thing. Kind of reminds me of, like, if anyone remembers the Chargers back in the day with, like, Danny Woodhead and, like, Jordan Matthews. Like, those that's
I
like
love that
definition.
backfield.
1-2 backfield. Like, this could be what it is. I'm concerned. Well, one, I think limited is, like, probably 10 to 15 carries. I think he'll probably be ready-ish for that, at least 10. But I don't know. I wasn't super impressed with what the O-line did week 1 versus what was an improved D-line for the Bengals. They got everyone out there, but it wasn't looking inspiring, regardless of the tippy-toeing in the backfield by Redacted and Dylan Sampson not really being built for running in between the A and B gap. But I don't know. It's like, how much can one running back change that? Now, like Nick Chubb, for example, was great at always never going down to the first guy, but I'm not going to expect a rookie to come in and just cover up for it. If there's no hole to run through, there's no hole to run through. He's just going to be running into people's backs trying to get 1 to 2 yards per carry. But I also didn't notice we got away from like the wide zone stuff. Like it was just all like duos up the gap, dives. Like there was no stretches. We weren't really trying to get to the outside, which I think Judkins and Sampson could benefit from. So maybe we got some of those and gave them to the wrong guy, Mr. Tippy Toes in the backfield. But I'm not sold that just because he's back, the ground game is going to get going.
Maybe Jerome Ford is Nick Chubb's Carlos Hyde.
I'm not convinced either, but at the same time, like running back, is the one position we've seen rookies come in and just dominate. More than any position, outside of
especially without camps, like it's not that hard.
That's the one.
The drills that they do, like
guys, run this way, run
call
that
it for
way.
what it is. That's why running backs, unless you're elite, unless you're a Saquon Barkley, like up to that tier, is one, you're underpaid, and two, your shelf life is not well because you're easily replaced.
Dude, I stood out there, and it's like I'm not a football guy, right? Like my football experience, like actually playing, is limited. I'm not afraid to lead with that. I've stood out there though and covered these practices in the hot summer heat, and I see like the running back drills, and like you've got to do them. You know, it's individual work, but sometimes I stand there and I just scratch my head like seeing them do ladders and stuff, and it's like, how's this really impacting the game? Like on Sundays, like there's just not a whole lot going on in those drills. So like, I don't think Quinshon's missed a whole lot is what I'm trying to say. And I think real game action is the only thing that's going to get him ready to play in the National Football League. So I'd put him out there against the Ravens. I'd put him out there for the 10 carries that Rob said and see what he does. Like if he breaks off big runs like Chubb against the Raiders in that debut, then okay, you keep handing him the rock and see what happens. And if it does look a little bit shaky, then you ease him in and you get a little bit more Dylan Sampson in there. But fun test this week too against Baltimore, who they want to run it with their quarterback. They got Derrick Henry as well. By the way, Derrick Henry in that Buffalo game looked fresh as ever. So
unreal.
Yeah. We're gonna need to run the ball to keep up with them.
He's got to be like in the offseason just in one of those like, what do they call it?
Cryo chambers?
Cryo chambers.
Yeah, he's
but
in a
like,
cryo chamber.
but like nothing we've seen from human technology. It's straight aliens.
Have you seen Derrick Henry workouts?
Like when he's running up the hills.
I'm talking just like weightlifting. Like the stuff he could lift, just like single legs and like the balance and core strength stuff he does.
Is he thick?
He's just like he's like thinner now that he used to be. But it's
you think Roger Goodell has ever had like the intrusive thought that just like maybe we just take these guys and we put them in a like Derrick Henry, like the true one of ones, and we put them in a lab and we just try to like replicate this? Because like if you like imagine if you had 11 Derrick Henrys running around.
I don't know if this is I'd have to Google to confirm my sources, but I'd read that like Yao Ming was the result of them birthing a kid from the tallest man and woman in China.
That may or may not be true.
I think
it's like it was the tallest man and like one of the best female athletes, like an Olympian.
I don't think that's legal anymore.
Gattaca?
But
I know
at a point
man.
that was a thing that was happening in some countries where they were trying to like breed the next big athlete.
Next
the hell happened to me?
Someone offered LeBron, and I think it was Serena Williams.
I remember that. That's what I was going to say next. I remember that.
Yeah. That was a thing. So they kind of want to see what'll happen if you get the genetics, the top line. But.
All right, we're not done talking Browns.
Did you see Venus was going off in the U.S. Open too in doubles still?
Yeah,
as a tennis guy. That was pretty cool.
How old are the Williams sisters?
So Serena's done. She's got no interest.
But Venus was older than Serena, and she was going in doubles. I think she's like 45.
Wow. Huh, good for them. All right, before we talk about the Browns, again, I got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state of Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they will not be beat on price by any other Ford dealer. See right above me, Fairway Ford summer sale still going on. It feels like fall outside, but we're not quite there yet. So enjoy the summer sale while you can. Make that short drive to Canfield, Ohio, and peruse over 500 vehicles in stock on the lot. You could save thousands of dollars while potentially finding your dream vehicle. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit. FairwayFordOhio.com. One more time. That's FairwayFordOhio.com. All right, guys, we got to talk about Andre Szmyt. Andre Szmyt happens. Browns bring in no competition for one Andre Szmyt. He's expected to kick for the Browns week 2 in Baltimore. Jackie wrote, did they just not give a fuck?
Yeah.
And that's one thought process to go down. The other is not messing up the kids' mentals, but what are we doing? Iron sharpens iron in a time like this. And if you're going to have this kid go kick in Baltimore in a more what I expect to be, unless the game's totally out of hand, more intense situation on the road, I mean, why? Just why?
Well,
what's the harm of getting somebody in here to at least motivate him?
You don't need to make the switch now, but
and
to not even
when
like
I say
entertain
that,
it though is fucking
and when I
wild.
say that, I'm not saying that Andre Szmyt needs more motivation. I'm sure he's more motivated than ever because his reputation's on the line. But at the same time, just bring in somebody.
No, I took heat for what I said yesterday when I put the blame on Andrew Berry. I took a ton of flack for that. But here's the thing, right? Since Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry took over in 2020, this is from True Media Sports Stats and Information. Since people want to throw heat at me, the Cleveland Browns are the worst kicking team in the National Football League. You want to look at Andrew Berry and his analytics and Paul Podesta and Chief Strategy? Hey, I've got some analytics for you. In extra points, you're the worst. 32nd. There's only 32 teams since you guys have been hired. The league average is 85%. On extra points, the Browns are at 78%.
Oh, that's foul.
Field goals from under 40 and in, the league average is 95%. Andrew and Kevin, they're at 88%. How about in the 40 to 49 range? Those aren't no gimmies, but for the most part around the league, you're hitting those at around a 79% clip. Here in Cleveland, you're looking at a 69% clip. That's not very nice. And then 50 and out, okay, you got to have a guy with a little bit of a boot. Those are toss-up. League average 68%. Browns is a little bit skewed at 71% because of the generational run that Dustin Hopkins went on in 2023. So this is a systemic issue. This is an issue that the Browns, since Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski took over in 2020, they don't care about this kicking position. There's no other way to frame it because the numbers don't lie. They are below the league average in extra points, kicks from 40 and in, and between 40 and 49, you're below the league average in every single category, and you're an analytically driven front office. I'm giving you the numbers for free. I won't invoice Lou Groza Boulevard in Berea, Ohio for this. This one's free of charge. Figure it out. Find me my kicker.
I had to look because I saw this stat the other day too. In one-score losses under Kevin Stefanski, missed kicks have cost the Browns 2.2 points per game, the most in the NFL. He's 8-15 in one-score games where at least 1 point was left on the table via a missed kick. This is just something that, like everyone, like Nick just went on. He told you guys this has been going on for a while. Don't know how you just don't bring anyone in. Like I said yesterday, this might just be a public humiliation ritual because I think the kid. Mentally, like, I don't know why you would put him in this scenario again with no room for bail at all. Because now if he goes out and misses again, it's just like, now everybody looks stupid.
That's the
like,
thing,
really,
too,
really stupid.
is like I don't think this is going to be the closest game of all time on Sunday, but if you're in a world where this is a close ball game and you could somehow, if you lose 2 division games, like theoretically because of kicking, like let's say they lose by 4, same exact shit happens. If you start out 0-2 in 2 division games and lose them both, again, in games you probably should have won or could have won, you almost got to fucking fire both of them right there because it's just a straight malpractice of not even bringing someone in. Like, if you don't want to make the change, I get giving the guy more than 1 game, a bigger sample size than 3 or 4 kicks, whatever. That's fine. I get that. But like, to not even entertain like someone being in the room with him or bringing someone on the fucking practice squad, like, how do you not do that?
You know, I was shocked to learn that Kevin Stefanski has never started 0-2 since he got hired by the Cleveland Browns. I was shocked to see that the percentage of teams, this is all kind of some research I did last night, that 0-2 teams to start the season, the odds of making the playoffs are just so drastic. I think since 2007, I don't have the exact stat, but it was about 146 or something a little more than that instances, and like 137 of those teams failed to make the postseason. And the Browns are never going to make the postseason regardless, but just to go to show, like, if this kid comes out and somehow the Browns play super well, the defense contains or neutralizes Lamar, and your offense is actually putting up a few touchdowns, and God forbid you have a 46-yard kick to go ahead and win the game and stun the Ravens, and then make them 0-2 and looking on the outside from the postseason, like, and he just totally misses it. I mean, what message are you sending?
That's like at that point, dude. Like,
they don't care.
I asked that
They
question.
don't care.
I asked that question knowing the answer.
They don't care. They're wasting our time.
That's
They're wasting
like Joe
everyone's
Flacco
time.
will literally just Vontae Davis it. Like he won't even like go back to Cleveland. He'll go back to his house in Baltimore and be like, "Fuck you guys if you don't want." If you don't
they
care.
don't care. It's
He's
an
gotta be hip to the
experiment
Browns, man.
all the way around. They don't like. They're just tinkering with stuff, but they're wasting a whole year of everyone's time. Like it's a foregone conclusion that next year they're gonna hit everything and get it right.
Or be back
yeah.
in the first place.
Like
That's a good point, Rob. Like, if you're the fucking Cleveland Browns and you're looking next year, like, okay, we could compete next year. We draft a quarterback. We're going to figure this
that
thing
means
out.
he's got to be ready immediately.
Then do everything in your power this season to set
prepare
up
for
the
that.
pieces to prepare for when you have that quarterback.
The audacity of it all is really starting to become
And
an
by
alarm.
the way, real
Yeah,
quick,
when we
I
draft.
understand it's a business is a business, and you're going to do everything that you think is right, and the Cleveland Browns
Right.
clearly have a different skewed view of that. But give your fans, the people that are the reason you're a fucking team and watch and pour money and emotions into this, and come in the morning morning and talk about them. Just some fucking hope and it's a little bit of fun to watch the Browns, man. It's
Like
ridiculous.
just like leaving no stone unturned.
They
It's
don't
like a bare
care
minimum
about
thing.
the fans at all. And they can say all the bullshit they want. You go look, and this is just one example. The season ticket like rewards that they give out. Oh, here's a fucking lunchbox.
Oh, you get a sticker, yeah.
Here's a fucking
You
lunchbox
get, like,
with
a
a
cup,
Browns
bro.
helmet
I've
sticker
been
on
seeing
it.
it. I've
Here's
seen
a
it for
Jurassic
years.
Miles dinosaur sticker.
It's useless stuff, bro.
Yeah,
It's
my
fucking
thing
Uber
with the,
cars so
my
you can
thing with
drink
the
at the games,
kicker,
please.
right?
Bands,
My thing with
too,
the kicker is this is a kid that we're talking about in Andre Szmyt. And again, I really like I'm like stuck on this, guys. I really am. I don't know why. Like it's like we're talking about a guy in Andre Szmyt.
Now here's a guy
that has had
called me
never
a
kicked
madman.
in the National Football League before. Like he was in the UFL.
He's gonna turn it around,
So,
Nick.
like-
he's gonna turn it around.
Most other teams, look at what the 49ers did. The 49ers had a kicker in Jake Moody that has the record in a Super Bowl for the longest field goal made.
That's like a
couldn't
draft
get the.
pick too,
It's
right?
a it's
They
a
picked him.
what have you done for me recently league. They cut him for Eddie Pinheiro, who's 100 years old and
was
is going to
available?
give it a
Most
try.
of the time.
Like,
Wait.
and he's supposed to do that. But guess what? They went back to the well. They said, "What we're doing, our process," because they
Jake Moody
love
was
throwing
a
that.
third round pick.
Yeah, third round pick.
What the?
They love throwing.
Jake Moody was a third round pick. Oh hell no.
Their process
Brock Purdy
was
saved John
broken, so they changed it up. The process is broken, but instead of changing it up, they just say, "Oh, this is our process. We're 32 out of 32 teams in making extra points. You could pull a drunk fan out of the dog pound and let them tow it in from 32."
Dude, get the kids from the first 2 weeks of college game day that were hitting
What's
boots with
destroying
Pat
doing?
McAfee.
Where's
It's
destroying?
so
at?
simple.
I saw
So,
him
like,
make a 60-yarder on
it's
Instagram the other
Greg,
day.
Greg Joseph is a free agent. Get his ass in here right now.
It's alarming that that's the most simple kicker. This is what we're talking about. You either make it or you miss it. That's the most simple position. And if you can't
Ryan,
figure out
Bills have
that,
fun over
if
that.
you can't
Guess
solve
who's on the
that,
practice squad? Huh? Guess who's on the practice squad?
From the Browns?
No, in general, in the NFL. We can go get Joey Sly.
Yeah.
My guy. Guy bangs 65 yarders left and right. He's on the
Nick,
practice
I
squad.
need
Go
you-
sign Fat Randy.
I need you to relax because your blood pressure shouldn't be this high. Because you're getting rage baited. You're getting rage baited because you
And they're
think,
not even here. You're getting
no,
rage baited
you
by
think the
Baldy
goal is
Podesta.
to win games.
Napa Valley.
The goal is not to win games. They don't care. Just forget about it. Anything that makes sense, forget about it. Throw it out
you
of
want
the
the
window.
Browns to win,
it's
go
not
play
what we're
Madden.
trying to do. It's not what we're trying to do. So just stop wasting. Like every time you get mad, you raise your blood pressure over the Browns. Just chill. Just watch the rookies. Hopefully, they block for Quinshon a little bit. Maybe you can get to 50 yards. Hopefully, Carson Schwessinger gets 10 tackles. Maybe Mason Graham gets a sack. But we're not trying to win. It's okay, guys. We're just pack it all up. If you want to watch winning football, I would say watch next year, but you probably won't see that for the next 15. It's okay. But you just got to stop expecting what is not going to be given to you.
man, it's week one.
We haven't even played 2 games yet.
Haven't even gotten to week 2. And
All right, well, that was fun, guys. All right, let's take a break, regroup, lower our blood pressures, take a chill pill. We're done talking about the Browns today. I'm sure we'll be back tomorrow, but we got to take a break. When we get back, we're flipping over to college football. Florida somehow goes up in some people's rankings when they lose to USF. I'm not sure how that quite makes sense, but we'll break that down when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pinone, Rob Watson. before we dive into college football, I got to tell you about our friends over at Garage Beer. We need a couple, and it's 10:35 a.m. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, none of that IPA taste. It's just beer-flavored beer. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit. That's drinkgaragebeer.com to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, one more time, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, we talked a little bit yesterday about USF's win in Gainesville over Florida. Billy Napier sucks. DJ Lagway, the talent's there. Still need a lot to work on, but he's very young. I think 20, 21 years old. USF, story of the season so far. They opened the season. They upset 25th ranked Boise State. They followed that up with, again, beating Florida. Man, the schedule for USF is brutal because now they take on number 5 Miami in Hard Rock Stadium. If they win that game, guys, I'm going to be so happy because I have that in our parlay to just cover. I think it's 17.5. But the story of this is somehow a voter, and I don't know exactly what, Haley Sawyer, I see is her name. She moved Florida up 2 spots in her AP poll rankings, just her personal ones, after losing to USF. I'm not sure how that makes sense.
She graduate from there or something?
Must have.
Explanation at all, or just
Well,
did it?
and listen, it is what it is. It's one voter's vote. It doesn't mean much to me, but the reason we're talking about it is because a lot of people on the internet didn't like it. And I mean, rightfully so, because while it is one vote, it's accumulative and it affects schools.
That's what I'm saying. Does her vote end up like that? When they vote for the 12 at the end, like, does she vote for one of the 12?
No, so the
No,
AP poll. It's
separate.
nothing with the college football playoff.
Separate.
Okay, I was about to say because like that's just I would strip her vote.
But either way,
but still like
well,
that.
it's-
Those
it's
rankings-
pretty dumb.
The AP poll was
Yeah, they
before the
affect it
BCS day,
later.
the AP poll is one of the most I want to say prestigious, but it is one of the benchmarkers for college football every single
And
season.
it's still, regardless of like they could ignore it to a degree, but the votes will still matter towards where teams are ranked when looking at that when they're picking the teams.
I think they'd be lying if the college football playoff voters, the committee didn't at least say they looked at the AP poll as one of the things that they consider.
Something
It's
like
an
that is
imperfect process.
invalidating it though. If someone could seriously do that, you move up 2 spots after a loss. That's just you shouldn't be voting.
Well,
in my
also
opinion.
too, this is. I mean, the reason
We
why
got the video, right?
The reason why the AP poll has weight anyway is because this is the Associated Press. Like, this is as true and as straight and narrow, no bias as you're supposed to be able to find. So when you have something like this, where there's some cracks, evidently. Like, how do you move up after that loss?
Let's not judge till we hear an explanation.
All right, let's hear an explanation.
By the way, I don't expect it to be
It's going to be a good explanation, I'm sure.
All right, let's take a listen again. This is Haley Sawyer's response to fans criticizing her AP ballot. Her AP ballot vote.
But as far as what my votes are and what my process is, I wake up early in the morning after covering a game late in the night before. Don't want to go too much into my process or logic, but I will say I appreciate everybody's interaction on social media and all of your feedback. There's tons of people that vote on the AP poll, and it's not a perfect system, but at the end of the day, no matter who you pick, it does even out because there's so many people who vote. And like I said, it's really fun for discussion. It
5
doesn't,
seconds.
probably matter in the end, but I'm glad that people are having a really good time with it. But as far as
not having a really good time.
You can't engagement bait in the AP poll. She said it in there. She goes, "Thanks for the comments."
You're better off
You can't
not
do that.
saying anything.
Yeah.
In that situation, there's no reason to say anything. You go away for a little while, you correct this mistake, and you move on.
Talk to a girl. She's back on the internet now.
Ryan,
You
if
got to
I-
go away from it.
If I vote for the opposite president that I want in office, it'll even out because everyone else will, so it won't matter in the end. Like that's why does she have a vote then? If that's her thought process on it, my vote doesn't
That's a
matter.
good take.
So why is anyone doing it then?
Okay.
It's just like.
So I was able to go to the AP polls website, and you're able to filter out and see everybody's individual vote. She popped up pretty fast, actually, Haley Sawyer. So, I mean, we can just take a look at her rankings.
Oh, we have her full top 25.
I haven't.
We're the Irish at.
I have not looked at this, so this is my first time. We'll start. She has Ohio State, Penn State, Texas at 3. Already an L. LSU 4, Clemson 5.
Clemson at 5.
Georgia 6, Miami
I'm
7.
not going to get into my process of how I make these
Notre Dame
selections.
8. Jack's back in on
Yeah,
it.
okay, you know what? Hey, this is one of the best polls I've seen come out this week.
Keep
Haley
going,
Sawyer, you
please.
keep on doing
She
business.
picked these teams out of a hat.
Yeah, I like the colors. Oregon 9, Florida State 10. That's valid.
Mascots.
Alabama's 11. Arizona's that's too high.
Bama ahead of Florida State?
Arizona State 12 again, too high. They lost to Mississippi State unranked. Illinois 13, South Carolina 14, Michigan 15, Florida 16.
Bama ahead of Florida
Michigan
State by 6
15.
spots.
Michigan 15?
Hold the phone. Florida's at 16 and USF is not ranked.
Does she watch the sport?
Yeah.
Does she watch the sport?
That's
At the
not
very
good.
minimum, does she read the box
That's not
scores?
good. And this is published on like 8. I'm looking at Ryan's.
This
Yeah.
is malpractice.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
That's
for
not
Florida.
good.
Haley, you're
Is
canned.
Michigan ahead of Oklahoma after losing to him? Did I see that?
Yeah.
So okay, so wait, is the U's ahead of Notre Dame at least, right?
What?
Is the U ahead of Notre Dame at least?
By 1 ranking.
Okay, so that's by 1.
7 and 8.
Florida's ahead of
Michigan
USF.
just got dogged walked by the Sooners.
Michigan's ahead of
and they are
Oklahoma, and Alabama's ahead of
Are
Florida
these
State.
week 1 rankings? Are these the post week 1? This can't be the after week
No,
2
this
rankings.
is the current
This
rankings.
is week 2.
Oh yeah.
It says
bro.
release.
Hey, wrap it up, bro.
Which, like,
Wrap it
I
up.
do understand there is a little bit
What
of
do you
some voters.
understand?
Well, I was going to
What?
explain. There are some voters who are, let's get a bit of a sample size. One bad game, we're not going to drop a team. But like the head-to-heads, you can't really fuck with.
And
at
here's
this point in the
here's
year.
the other piece of it too. Like I feel like even though this is separate from the college football playoff committee, the committee themselves said that they're factoring in strength of schedule and who beat who in layering this year's 12-team format. So like if I'm a voter at the AP, like I'd be approaching it as if I'm creating the college football committee.
Well, I guess they're
thing.
different
they're-
though, because they're doing a top 25.
They're looking at
I don't know.
numbers though. So like if they're putting out the stats in your whatever strength of schedule score, say it's like a 100% scale, you get an 82, but it's messed up because USF was a team you beat and they should be ranked, but at the time they were unranked or something like that, or by the end of the year they drop a game and it messes up. Like, you know what I'm saying? That could mess up the numbers by not getting these rights. Now, granted, I don't know how many people vote on this. I get it's just one person, but
I think it's damn near 50.
Oh, there's
that's
a ton.
That's not enough for one person to not
yeah.
move Oklahoma
Right.
ahead of Michigan after they
that's
just
valid.
played.
Rob,
bro.
you
Like,
made a great point though too. Like,
How did she get her? How did she
if you
get
say
a
as
vote?
well out loud, like
It
yeah, I mean,
doesn't matter.
they
Everyone
all
else
even
will
up.
get it.
Why the fuck do you vote if you think your vote doesn't matter?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Right.
gonna have to do some research and figure out how she got her vote.
Well, she's got to be.
Yeah, she's gotta be like a well-credentialed
you
press
gotta
member. I'm not doubting her.
cover
You're
one of
talking
these
about
teams.
people that are voting on this.
I've never seen like a head-to-head where one team beats the other, especially because I think it was like a 15-18 game and the other team just stays ahead after losing. And then a team that's got 2 top 25 wins in the first 2 weeks isn't ranked, is 2-0, and they're still like Florida's now 1-1 and they're ahead of them still.
I believe she
Bamboozled.
represents some of the California voters. I think she covers USC most closely. So it's a USC person. I mean, we all saw that coming.
All right, we got to move on though. We're running out of time here. We got a little bit of time, but Ohio State preparing for the Ohio Bobcats spread 31.5.
Is it still 31? It almost got down to 30 yesterday.
So Nick and Rob, apparently you guys love this spread.
We do.
Do you
man.
love it for Ohio State or for Ohio?
For Ohio State? I think this is
That's not what I want to hear.
This is favoring OU, I have to believe, because they upset West Virginia. And OU isn't even the favorite to win the MAC right now. They're 2-1 to win the MAC. Toledo is still the betting favorite to win the MAC. So you're talking about a team. OU is respectable. You know, you just beat West Virginia. They were hanging in there with Rutgers week 1, but this is a different animal that we're talking about. Like, I covered the MAC when I went to Kent State. Like, there's not a DB in the MAC that has played previously, currently plays now, or will play in the future that could hang with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate.
Not even my
It just
boy,
ain't happening.
All-pro Quinshon Mitchell, former Toledo
He's
grad.
ain't happening.
But one thing me and my friends always used to say, talking about this in the bets, there's 2 things we always watch for. When a coach is fired that next week, we're usually on the team that had the fired coach. One thing we're also on is we're fading the team that had the big upset the last week, because there's always the letdown game. You beat West Virginia, good school, great win for the Bobcats. It's a good team. They're going to be great in the MAC. This is the best team in the country. And I think saying that they could only win by 4 touchdowns after they just won by 10, I get Grambling State, smaller school, but I think that, like, you know what I mean? Ohio's going to, they're going to be riding high. They know what it is coming into this game, and they're going to say, well, we beat West Virginia, so we really already set ourselves up, not expecting them to keep this within 31 points.
So what's all this hoopla about Brian Smith calling Caleb Downs and
Oh, you
Jeremiah
didn't see
Yeah,
it? You
so-
didn't see this?
So
I have
Brian
the
Smith,
video
I
pulled
believe
up. I
he's
haven't watched
actually
it.
very well respected right now in the MAC and down in Athens. Like, I think he's kind of changed that program for the better
Sounds
a little
like
bit.
an honest mistake.
Wait, so
But
Jeremiah
well,
Smith,
no. So they basically asked him. So the question read like,
We got
roll
the
the
video.
tape?
Yeah,
Yeah,
run the
tape.
tape. Ryan, run the tape.
run it back, Turbo.
Obviously, Ohio State, #1 team in the country, but they also have arguably the best 2 players in college football with Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. Just what goes into preparing to deal with those two?
Yeah, 2 of the best receivers in the country for sure. And yeah, so it's definitely our defense has their hands full with that one, which is challenging. What do you really want to take away?
So as I was
it
saying,
sounds
on
like an
that,
honest
Did he
mistake.
think he was Carnell
Tate, or he
All
just got mixed
This
up?
is the second time though. Did you see
Did
last?
people-
I don't know.
You got to know Caleb Downs' name though. By that point, in the
Wait,
week,
did people take this as a slight?
not as a slight,
as a
just like as
slight,
they're
just as
screwed
a-
if they don't know who Caleb Downs
This
is.
is
and it's
another reason to
Tuesday.
say that OU is not covering that spread.
That's what it is more so. like,
Also,
oh shit,
this is
it's
the second
Tuesday.
time
He could have
like
heard
this has
Carnell
happened.
Tate. He could have thought he meant Carnell Tate.
Last week on the Fox kickoff show, when they played Texas, they showed a picture of Arvell Reese on the screen, and then it read Jeremiah Smith. So I don't know, like we're seeing mistakes big time on Fox like that. So maybe he will shoot him a little bail on this. But yeah, if I'm the head coach and I hear the name Caleb Downs, arguably someone who's going to be a top 10 draft pick and perhaps the best player in all of college football, I would know that he plays safety and not wide receiver. But
He could probably play wide receiver.
And he does say the 2 best players in college football. Like, not that Carnell Tate's not amazing and had that sick catch and is going to go in the first round probably. Maybe the #1 receiver off the board. But, like, no one talks about him as the #2 player in college football.
That's fair enough. Honestly, head coach Brian Smith, don't worry about it, bro. You get him next time. That's what I have to say about that.
good luck, man.
Yeah,
All right,
good luck.
Brian.
Let's take a break. When we get back, Joey Cantillo dealing against the Kansas City Royals. And we got another FanDuel parlay of the day to wrap this bad boy up. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Hey, everybody. Welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson. We're talking about baseball. Jack, the never say die Cleveland Guardians are still in this thing 2.5 games back of the wild card. Joey Cantillo deals 8 innings, 5 strikeouts. I believe that 8 innings, correct, Jack?
Yeah. I mean, I would jump in front of a bus for the Texas Rangers or Seattle Mariners to lose a game so we can make some ground up on those 2 teams. But yeah, we're keeping stride with the Royals, taking 2 in a row from them, starting to grow a lead on them for that second spot out of the playoffs right now. But yeah, when you have a really bad offense like we do, bottom 5 in the MLB in total runs scored, there's like a pretty easy formula to winning games. It's not an easy formula, but your lone formula to winning games is strong starting pitching, production from the middle of the order, and a strong bullpen. And Joey Cantillo goes out 8+ innings last night, came out for the 9th, threw right around 100 pitches. His changeup was ridiculous. There were 16 swings on it last night. He got 8 swings and misses. He really didn't strike anyone out early on. I don't think he had a strikeout until the 4th inning, but from the 4th through the 8th, he had 5 Ks. Like, he really came on late as well. He threw a ton of strikes. Threw his fastball like 50% of the time. It was locating that in the zone, which is huge for him. Middle of the order, Jose goes deep in the 1st inning, comes around to score on a David Fry double later in the game. That checks off that box. Cade Smith comes in after the leadoff hitter gets on in the 9th. Gasses Vinny Pasquantino up high to end the game. Then Salvi Perez, same thing, right? That pitch up high, fastball top of the zone. Like, so if you look at it, like the 3 keys to winning the game probably are you're gonna have to get good pitching, middle of the lineup's got to come through, and then your bullpen's got to be strong. And all those things happened last night.
Jack, is it possible that the Cleveland Guardians, who have pulled us away or pushed us away so many times, pulled us back in just to push us away again? Are they going to pull us back in and make the playoffs?
You know, they're like that bag of trash you throw outside, and then you turn around and it's somehow sitting right
It's
outside,
like that-
right inside the door. You know, like they're not going
that
away.
Campbell's soup can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're finding a way to stay in it, and like we've said all year long, it's going to come down to can they be strong the last couple of weeks of the year against all these wild card contenders? Like that last spot has been buck wild open. You know, like the Red Sox have some injuries. I wouldn't even say they're really set in stone with anything. Like there's going to be movement at the bottom with the wild card, and we got a chance, man.
All right, well, Jack, we're running out of time here, but there's always time for a FanDuel parlay of the day. Nick, what do you say that before we talk about this parlay via FanDuel, tell us a little bit about it.
FanDuel is getting you guys ready for the NFL season with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. If it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here. We're trying to build our bankroll today for Thursday Night Football tomorrow. The only question for you is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 plus and present here in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonuses are issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, Jack, my friend, are you ready for our FanDuel parlay of the day?
Let's do it, baby.
Here we go.
Guys, there's nothing people want to talk about and watch and bet on more in September than baseball, so that's what we're talking about today. Plus 706 four-leg parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app. We're starting off. The Pirates can't hit baseballs. The Orioles can't hit baseballs. Paul Skeens is on the mound. Not just the Nerfy. We're throwing an under 7.5 for the full game, too. Two of our legs coming in. Get the little same-game parlay juice-up bonus. Under 7.5 and the Nerfy and Pirates and Orioles for Skeens Day. Going through the motion, stay strong. He done been him all along. Logan Allen on the mound for your Cleveland Guardians. Been a rough couple of days. He's about to correct the course back again. Looking to take 3 in a row from the Royals at home. You have to stay in the heat of that October chase. And then lastly, but not least, we're heading up north. Jose Barrios and the Blue Jays at home against the Astros tonight. The Jays, one of the hottest teams in baseball, big one yesterday. We're taking the Blue Jays as well. So once again, we're going under 7.5 and Nerfy in Pirates and Orioles. Gardo's money line, Blue Jays money line. $10 will win you $80.60 plus 706 in the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Well, that'll do it for us on The Big Fact today. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Bedone. He's Rob Watson. Shout out FanDuel. Shout out Fairway Ford. And shout out Garage Beer. I think we had a great conversation about Andre Szmyt and the kicker. And I'm about to hop off here and produce for Bruce Drennan's show, who goes live tonight, 7 p.m. bonus time. I cannot wait to hear what he has to say about that Browns kicking situation, because he wasn't very nice to one Dustin Hopkins.
Bring in a kicker.
So excited to hear that tonight. All right, we'll be back tomorrow on The Big Factor. Same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.